right, shalom again, Israel. All right, blessed Sabbath to everyone. All praises to the Most High. All right, we're going to go into Revelations, the 15th chapter tonight. Or shall we say Revelation? There is no S at the end of it. But we say that. Habit. Revelations. Man, there's a bunch of revelations in there, right? But we're going to deal with the 15th chapter. Let's go to actually, before we get to the 15th, I want to go to chapter 4. And let's read verse 1.
After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter.
So John, now let's flip over to chapter 1. John is seeing and being shown these different revelations or revealings, prophecies of things that, as it said, that shall happen shortly after. Revelations chapter 1, if I did it again, Revelation chapter 1 and 1.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So these are the revealings and the prophecies that Christ was showing to John at this point, okay, during the Roman rule. Read.
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Who are the servants of the Lord? The Israelites. Y'all sure? No. Who's the servants of the Lord? The Israelites. You better act like you know, because he said he revealeth his servants unto who? Revealeth his secrets unto his servants, right? Leviticus tell you, Israel, the children of Israel are his servants. Okay, go ahead.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Read.
Who bear record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Read.
And of all things that he saw.
Read on.
Blessed is he that readeth.
So this is where, we get the fundamental from of reading. We have to read the scriptures. Make it a part of your daily routine. Read the scriptures. Blessed is one that readeth. Read on.
And they that hear the words of this prophecy.
And hear the words of the prophecy. Okay, read on.
And keep those things which are written therein.
So the scripture shows us many things that's going to happen, and we have to make sure we keep those things. Okay, read.
For the time is at hand.
Read on.
John, to the 7 churches which are in Asia. Grace be unto you, and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne.
So we're going to read about those 7 spirits of 7 angels and all of that when we get back to 15. Now let's drop down and let's read verse 9.
Verse 9. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation.
What does he mean by being your companion in tribulation? What's he mean by that, Barak? Your companion in tribulation. We have a microphone out there for him? There you go.
I think because he was in exile himself. He was locked down himself, so he was, he was feeling the same type of tribulation as the rest of.
What kind of tribulation was they going through?
Well, the apostles were getting killed. They was getting locked up in prison, getting beheaded, tortured.
You going through tribulation for this word right now?
I am.
He said, I am.
I'm catching hell.
Who in here is going through tribulation for this word? For real, we are. And many people are new, and guess what? Not to scare you, but you will. That's a fact, because this is something that we have to understand, and detaching ourselves from this world is that it's going to be a time of tribulation. It's unpleasantness, discomfort. So that's why John said, I'm your companion. He said, I'm going through the same thing y'all going through. And you going through what I'm going through. Okay, read on.
And in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ.
That's right, because that tribulation leads to the kingdom. But to get to that kingdom, it takes patience, meaning you can't give up. You can't, get to that point where you're like, oh, I need to hang this up. It's getting too difficult. I need to change my walk. Can't do that. Did Christ do that? No. So John, right now, he's in a state of tribulation because he's in prison, writing letters. That didn't stop him from doing this work. They thought that throwing him out in the middle of the ocean on an island somewhere was going to stop him from putting his work down. But he said, hell no, I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to write. They got to get this. And this is why Yahushua had to visit him and send spirits unto him to show him what things was going to happen, so that he can write it and it can get to us, so that we know what to expect and we know how to live and know what things to do according to the Spirit. So read on.
Was in the isle that is called Patmos, for the word of God and for the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua.
You see that? So he was put there on this island, similar to what they used to have called Alcatraz Island. You heard of that? All right. And where Alcatraz was, it was an island in the middle of the ocean. It's out there in San Francisco. And it was supposed to be an unescapable island that the most worst criminals was housed. So for those that spoke the word of Christ, they were put in that type of situation. You see how severe it was? This is how much they hated Christ. This is how much they hate Israel. And this is how much they hate the Most High. You understand? To exile someone away from civilization for speaking the word of God. That's how serious it was. That's how serious it is now, okay? So let's flip over to chapter 15. Because one thing the book of Revelations is a rather simple book to understand. I said, no, it ain't. But you have to have some foundation, though. One thing you have to know is that the Most High speaks in similitudes, right? When you understand that and put the similitudes in proper perspective, then it starts to just make it very simple, okay? That's another reason why John wrote like that. Because remember, he was being put out in exile for what? Speaking the word of Christ. So in an attempt to conceal the word that was being said, he wrote in similitudes. Yahushua, which is Christ, told him to write these things and showed him different visions, showed him like dragons and beasts and dragons and monsters that had 7 heads and 10 horns and all kind of stuff like that. Something you would never see on the earth. But those that were in the spirit, when they read it, they would understand what was being said and what was being conveyed. Okay? So this is why he was writing in this fashion. So let's go to chapter 15 and let's start at verse 1.
Revelation chapter 15 and verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues.
So when in these plagues that we're reading about, we're not going to go into the plagues because I want to deal with chapter 15. It's a very short chapter in Revelations, but it says a whole lot. And how we have to prepare ourselves right now to avoid these plagues that's coming. Now, Yahushua in Matthew 24, he breaks down about the end times, right? He said, take heed that no man deceive you. Nation shall rise against nation. There shall be pestilences, earthquakes, wars, you name it, all of that, right? We see that right now. So we know that we're in those times of that tribulation that's coming upon the earth. But then he says, after all that, when you go into reading the scriptures, he says, the Most High said, I ain't done with you yet. He says, I got 7 angels holding 7 vials with 7 more plagues that I'm going to use to finish off everybody else. This is how the Most High is moving. He's going to do things in stages. So this is what he's talking about here. And in this chapter, he goes and speaks about these 7 angels holding these plagues, but he also talks about what's going to happen of how Israel needs to get themselves together to avoid these things. All right. So he said he's going to work another work, great and marvelous. 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. Go ahead.
For in them is filled up the wrath of God.
Because in each one of these vials that an angel holds, he holds the wrath of the Most High. How angry is the Most High? Y'all didn't hear me. How angry is the Most High? I don't even think we can even compute a image of that. Can't even fathom it at all. But the Most High is angry. He's angry with the heathen. He's angry with Israel. That's why we've been judged. Now, if the Most High put Israel, a nation that he loves, that's the apple of his eye, through bondage and through the tribulation we've gone through, what is he going to do to the earth? He loves us, and we went through hell and back. Go figure. Can y'all just think about that? What is he going to do to the heathen? Those that blaspheme his name. You know how, brothers, people get in the street when you talking mess about them, right? Hey, what's up, man? I heard you was talking mess. What's happening? Most High going to be doing that. Say it now. I heard you saying all that before. Say it now. A lot of people had a lot to say, right? The Egyptians, Egyptians, the heathens, they have a whole lot to say about the Most High. Because they think the Most High is not bringing forth no judgments. But this is what's going on. So, holding the wrath of the Most High. Watch this. Go to Matthew chapter 13. Get Matthew chapter 13. Let's read verse 41.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels.
So this is speaking about Christ coming under the authority of the Most High. He said he shall send forth his angels. Go ahead.
And they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that
Do
offend.
y'all see that? He's going to send forth his angels and gather out of his kingdom all things that offend. What does it mean by offend? Iniquity. All things that go against the order, the ordinances, the commandments of the Most High. All things. Go ahead.
And them which do iniquity.
And them which do iniquity. Read on.
And shall cast them into a furnace of fire.
Do you see that? So this is what he's gathering up. He said he's gathering up his army to go out to gather all those. You see how Israel's being gathered, right? So that's the first stage. Then he says after that, he's going to gather all those that offend and do iniquity. And gather them and put them into a lake of fire. Read on.
There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
You see that? Much pain, much suffering. That's what it means by gnashing of teeth. Pain, suffering. Something that you can't even imagine. Take the greatest pain you ever felt in your life, multiply it by 1,000,000, you still wouldn't touch it. Because the Most High is spiritual, right? He knows how to torture you spiritually. You imagine that? And you can't even die. You know how people are going to try to take the short way and try to kill themselves and all that? Scripture tell you that too. Many shall seek death, and death shall flee from them. Most High said, nobody escaped. This is how angry the Most High is with man on the earth to the fullest. Not to mention what they did to his people. Man, it's going to be rough. Read on.
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father.
See that? That's the reward of doing righteousness. That's why he said that I'm your companion in tribulation. Yeah, it's going to be rough. But what is it that's worth having that you don't have to work hard to get? Church system will tell you it's easy, right? That's it. Go to, hey, wake up in the morning, put your suit on. You good. That's it. Or even trick you to believe there's no God, so there's no judgment. That's the atheist doctrine. So people have no fear. People don't have no type of understanding of judgment of what they do. They feel that there's no repercussions. So you see how this is how Satan is working, creating doctrine after doctrine, belief, philosophy to keep people's minds from seeing what the Most High is bringing on the earth. Because with that, if you really don't understand how the Most High works and who he is, then how can you serve him properly? See that? That's what religion and idolatry was created for, was to take you away from the mind and the understanding of how to learn to serve the Most High. That's what it was created for. Every doctrine, every belief has an image that upholds it, that's attached to it, right? Every single doctrine. Why? Why does it have an image attached to it? Who can answer that? What? What's that? No. Why does every doctrine have to have an image attached to it? Islam has an image attached to it, right? Catholicism has an image attached to it. If you're in the aspect of Egyptology, there's images, image work that's attached to it. Why so? What happened? Well, it is idolatry, but why? Go ahead. What you said? It's going to create confusion, but what's the real reason? Well, I'm sorry, wait, raise your hand. I'm glad y'all all engaged. Beautiful. Go ahead, my sister. You believe what you see? Okay. Nadari, what you say? To deceive you? Y'all missing it. Why is there an image attached to every philosophy? Idolatry. Okay, so idolatry. Conviction too, huh? Idolatry. That's it. That's my brother. He said, go ahead, sister Monica. What? That's the intent. But why is there an image attached to it? Y'all missing it. Subliminal. No, not subliminal. Go ahead. Is it branded? No. Nah, nothing tangible. Go ahead.
So you break the first commandment?
No. You're going to do that, but why? Think about it. If I got a philosophy, I got to put an image behind it. I got to attach something with it. Now, of course, you're going to look at that image, but what is the intent behind putting an image on it, though? Go ahead.
Just to feed your imagination, because just like the Israelites, they had to see something tangible, like the brother said, like there had to be something tangible for them. Seeing is believing. That's a lot of atheists believe that. Seeing is believing. So that's probably why I give them an image to serve. This is like the calf. They give them to go to the calf. They wanted the image. They're like, where is the Most High? We want to see the Most High. And they couldn't see the Most High, so it's like they make that image. So
no, that ain't it. That's a beautiful explanation of idolatry, but that ain't quite the answer. Who? Somebody else. One more. Who else? Who? Y'all cannot. Go ahead. It's very simple to understand. If I got to make an image, is the Most High involved in it? No. The Most High ain't there, so I got to create the substitution. It's that simple. The Most High ain't there. So in order for me to pass it on, I mean, not to say the answers was wrong, but the bottom line, if I got to make a substitution of God, then that means the authentic God ain't attached to that. So what does that say about that philosophy? It's false. Now, take the Bible. What image is attached to it? Before, hold on, let me go back. Before Christianity got a hold to it, and Catholicism got a hold to it. When it was handed down and given to Moses, and Moses gave it to the children of Israel, what image of the Most High was attached to that? No, what image? There was no image. Because the image, there's no one can understand how to make the Most High. So he said, don't ever make me. Don't make me. Don't think about making me. Don't make nothing that you think resembles me. Shut it down, because when you start doing that, that's when you start going left. That's how idolatry happens. Everybody see that? So if I make a doctrine, in order to get you to believe that it's God sent, I got to create something around it. So I'm going to make a calf. Let me get a calf. Let's make it real pretty and shiny. And call that, this is God now. A meteor fell out of the sky. And I'm going to decorate it and throw it in a shrine. And that's how you get Allah for the Muslims. Because the Most High ain't there. The creation should be enough, right? Because that's all we had. That's all Abraham had. He didn't walk around with no trinkets and amulets and nothing like that. He said he had the power of the Most High. The living God. Remember, the Most High is a God of the what? The living. So how can you attach the true power to dead images that have no life? Y'all understand? Y'all following? So that's how they had to pass off. You know what? Well, with this Christianity, how are we going to get people to believe it? Well, we're going to put all these images. Man, got to believe in something. Y'all said the right answers. But when we start doing that, the Most High ain't in. He said, I ain't with that. I ain't even involved in that. And guess what? Look, when you start to break the doctrine down, where's the Most High's laws in it? They broke it from the jump. They broke the first commandment, making an image, in the first place. Everybody see how that's working? So this is the reason why he's going through and said, look, I got to go through the whole earth and I got to gather up all things that offend. The Most High said he's going through with the magnifying glass, with the vacuum cleaner, break it into everything. He said, I'm going to get everything out because this is the last time that we're going to go through this on the earth. Most High said, I done gave you time after time. He said, I brought the first flood, didn't learn from that. I done showed you through captivities. I done brought my son. I done gave cataclysmic situations on the earth. You still not getting? He said, so you know what? We're going to call it an end, and we're going to gather the righteous, and we're going to put everybody else to severe punishment. That's how the Most High is rolling now. He said, enough is enough. Everybody following? So seeing the world, now when you start to understand the heathen, they don't have a chance in that regard. The salvation that's coming to them is what? Servitude. Who the hell is looking forward to that? Who's looking for? I mean, but see, this you got to get into their mind now. Who's looking forward to that? Esau's sitting there like, man, I ain't got nothing coming to me, but bonditude, not just bondage, but hard bondage. Huh? What'd I say? Bonditude. Hey, that's a good word. Bonditude. The Spirit brought it out. Bonditude. Write that one down. Slavitude. We're going to make it. Hey, it's going to be, whatever it's going to be for them, it's going to be completely different that they never experienced. But at the end of the day, who's looking forward to that? So they're like, man, if this is what we got, we're going to do and work overtime to make sure nobody gets it. So they're going to create doctrine after doctrine after doctrine after philosophy, after scientific theories. What is a theory? It's an opinion. The theory is that, there is no God, but the earth was created by cataclysm. And that's how they try to go into it. And people sitting up there like, yeah, that makes sense. We come from monkeys in the earth. Monkeys is still here, and not one of them has yet to have a human baby. But we believe in it. You understand? Because we believe in their philosophy. And the philosophy has to have an image attached to it. You see how it works? When the Most High tells us to use common sense. So this is what the Most High is doing now. He's sending his angels out. They're gathering all things. They put everything in proper order now. Let's continue in Matthew 13.
Verse 43.
Yeah.
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father.
Read.
Who have ears to hear, let him hear.
And Christ would say that. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. Meaning, do you understand? Do you really understand? Or you just reading the words? That's why even John said, blessed is he that readeth. It's more to reading the Bible than reading the words. You got to go behind the words now. That's why Christ said, if you got an ear to hear, can you really understand what he just said? Go ahead.
Verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field.
So now he's dropping something real heavy on us now. We think he's talking about property and land, but he's using that because a lot of us don't understand about land, but land is crucial. What did the white man come and conquer and want to get? Land. What did the Most High promise us when we came out of Egypt? Land. With land, you can live forever. He said you can build a house, you can live in a tent, you can sleep under the stars, but it's yours. And you can do all you want. You can till it, you can live off of it, and it'll always, if you're good to the land will be good to you. That's how the Most High set it up. But he's saying the kingdom is like this, that if you see that good piece of land, and you see it, and you see that potential in it, you're like, man, I need that. Say, here, hide it. You go sell all you have so that you could get up enough money to go buy that piece of field, right? How does that work with us now? That means when you get this knowledge, you better keep it. When the Most High called you, remember, this is his gathering. This is his wedding he's calling us into. We've been invited into a wedding feast of the Most High that's going to marry his son to the nation of Israel. The biggest wedding. Forget the royal crap that's about to happen. Forget the Kardashian wedding and all the other mess that they pop up. Forget all that. That's nothing. The world is going to see the marrying of the Lamb to Yahweh, to Christ, to Israel, excuse me. That's the Lamb. I'm all twisted up. That's tribulation. But that's the marriage. But then here, check this out. The Most High invited us to this wedding. He invited us and gave us an RSVP. We ain't in it yet. He gave us an invitation. And on that invitation is a stipulation. You got to endure to the end. If you endure, come on to the wedding. And you can't come wearing any old thing. Christ went over that parable too. About the man that was sitting in the wedding without a wedding garment on. He said, what are you doing in here? I'm in the wedding. He said, no, you're not. How did you come here and you don't have the proper garment on? Now, was it really about clothes? No. It's about your spiritual makeup. That's what he's talking about. Remember, let's look behind the words. Why does he use clothes? Because we know we want to look good, right? We spend hours, we spend thousands of dollars wanting to look good. We go make sure we get the right coat, the right shoes, the match, the underwear, the whole nine. Sisters go get the right bra and and the shoes and have to have the glitter that matches the earring, the whole nine. Spend hours upon hours shopping and getting ready to go out for a couple of hours, right? So when you know you're going somewhere nice, you're going to look nice, right? You're not going to just pop up, and you'll be offended if you had put out all this stuff and spent all this money, made it look beautiful, and somebody showed up with flip-flops and a tank top and some basketball shorts. I'm here. I'm at the wedding. When do we eat? You'll be upset, right? So now the Most High is looking at us the same way. We're going to just show up to any kind of way in the spirit? That's why we got laws. The laws is what closes us, right? When we ain't doing what we supposed to do, then what happens? We start putting on that dirty garment. Check this out. Go to Zephaniah. So I'm just laying down some foundation so we understand what Revelation 15 is going into. Y'all with us? And let's read 1 and 8.
Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the...
Now, the Lord's sacrifice is talking about is what? When he's coming to go through the kingdom and getting rid of all things that offend. Why does he call it a sacrifice? The day of the Lord's sacrifice.
Because it didn't have to be. Slaughter.
It's going to be a slaughter. Who's going to be slaughtered? Let's find out. Hold that. Give me. Let's hold that. Go to Proverbs. Give me Proverbs 21. He said, in the day of the Lord's sacrifice, who's going to be sacrificed? Is it going to be Christ? Yes or no? No. How do we know that? So he already did that. He said, I ain't doing that again. Yahweh Shai said, I done went to the death. I'm not doing that again. Especially, we didn't appreciate nothing he did for us. He said, I ain't doing that again. Forget all that. Y'all could be a living sacrifice now. I already went through it. But check this out. 21, verse 18. Watch this.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 18. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous.
Y'all see that? The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous. In other words, the wicked has to be put down so that the righteous can live. It was the other way around before, right? The righteous always suffered for what the wicked did. Look at all the apostles. Look at what Christ had to go through. Look at what the righteous men and women had to go through on account of Israel's sins. The Most High said, that's enough of that. Now, the hard-headed will pay and be a sacrifice or a ransom for the righteous now. Most High gonna hold them hostage so that the righteous can live. Their blood has to be shed for the righteous now. Yahweh Shai shed to bring us repentance. We have to take advantage of that, meaning that we have to apply that. But guess what? Many are not. So what? They are going to pay and be that bloodshed for the righteous now. Everybody see that? Read on.
And the transgressor for the upright.
See that? So now, no more of the righteous dying for the, on account of what the wicked does. The wicked is going to bear their own sin now. The righteous are going to shine, like I said, in the kingdom of the Most High. Let's go back to Zephaniah. So we understand what it's talking about, the day of the Lord's sacrifice.
Ready? Mm-hmm. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice.
Listen to this.
That I will punish the princes and the king's children.
All people from the top. In other words, he's letting you know, even from the top. The princes, those in power and authority, kings, all of that. So they're going to be punished. No one's exempt from this. Read on.
And all such as are clothed in strange apparel.
Now, what is that talking about? He got on some Levi's.
True religion.
Monica, what's it talking about, strange apparel? Now, okay, let's do this. Let me be fair with you. Let's read from the literal and lawful standpoint, and then I want you to go behind the words. Go ahead.
Okay. Strange apparel to him is a man wearing dresses and women wearing pants, because the order is for the reverse, for women to wear dresses and men to wear pants.
Okay.
So if it's out of order, that's strange to him.
Okay. Okay, good. Everybody see that? Because he gives us a law to tell us how to dress literally, physically, outwardly. Okay? We wear fringes on our garments. We don't wear mingled fabric. We got to make sure that we live accordingly, right? Okay? Sisters, men also have to dress in modest apparel, holy apparel. A man can't wear that which pertains to a woman. A woman cannot wear that which pertains to a man. So when we do that, that's strange apparel to the eyes of the Most High. Now, let's go behind the words now. What is he saying? Go ahead, Namor. What's he saying?
Kind of like churches and stuff, places that are not his kingdom, that he did not set up, like strange religions.
I give you that, because Christ said that every what tree that my Father did not plant shall be rooted up, right? Do our people clothe themselves with religion? Devoutly. They clothe themselves with all kind of principles and philosophies, like we were talking about idolatry and all that. You understand? Do people clothe themselves with sin? Absolutely. Go ahead, sister. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because guess what? Even with a lot of those doctrines, there's even clothing that's attached to that from a physical sense and a literal sense. But Remember, the clothing aspect is that what one is adorning himself with. When we wear our clothing, the fringes, can the fringe actually save us? No. But what the fringe is doing is the Most High is causing us to understand what he's saying to us. He's saying, listen, whenever you get dressed and you clothe yourself, that fringe should remind you of what? So in other words, what should we really be clothing ourselves with? The laws of the Most High. How many of y'all just ran out the house naked? Oh, damn, forgot to put on my clothes. And if you did or you forgot something, you feel out of place. The brother tell you, hey, man, your pants is unzipped. Oh, damn. But if we clothe ourselves with the spirit of the Most High and his commandments, man, that's the armor that we got to have. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a precept in Ephesians, it says, clothe yourself in righteousness.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there's a precept in Ephesians, and it says, clothe yourself in righteousness, put on the sword of the truth, and yeah.
Helmet of salvation. That
Con.
whole line. The breastplate of righteousness. So we clothe ourselves in all the commandments of the Most High. Okay? And make sure, and the Most High gives us the fringes and tells us how to make sure we live. That's why he tells us don't wear mingled fabric. Somebody might say, well, man, what do you mean? But the Most High is getting us into an exercise of saying, listen, when you start mingling things, that's why people get messed up in the world, because we try to mingle the world with the word of the Most High. Can they mix? No. You're going to do one or the other. You cannot mix. Hold that. Go to Revelations chapter 2. Oh, I think I want 3. Hold on. I want 3. 3 and 15. So some people look at, well, that's not literal. But he's giving us a literal sense, but he's also teaching us behind that also. Because when we learn and we do things by habit, what happens? We start to understand a little bit more. So that's why the Most High has us go through those things. Revelations 3 and verse 15.
Revelation chapter 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot.
See that? So he says, be one or the other. Most High said, I ain't about all that mixing. That's why he even tell us mixed marriage. Can we have mixed marriages? No, he said, I ain't about all that. Don't be taking an orange seed and try to mix it with an apple seed. Don't do that. Don't try to gender a cat with a dog. He says, everything was created in perfection from the beginning. There's no need for us to tamper with it. We get our bright ideas and say, well, what happens if we mix a lion and a tiger? We might get a liger. And they'll do that.
True story.
Well, what if we mix this fruit and we'll get something? All of that is the Most High showing us no. Okay? So he's saying, let us be cold or hot, be one or the other. Don't be mingled. Read on.
So then, because thou art lukewarm.
See, lukewarm is that middle. A little bit of both. A little cold and a little hot mixed together. Go ahead.
And neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
See that? Most I don't like that. So he wants us to be a certain way. Everyone see that? Okay, let's go back to Zephaniah. So he's telling us that apparel, of course, is our clothing, but he's also showing us we got to be clothed with the Spirit of the Most High, clothed with his laws. That's our day-to-day clothing. Every day. That's why somebody comes and say, man, what's that on your clothes? Oh, these are fringes, man. It's the laws of the Most High. Oh, really? I didn't know that. See, they're not clothed with that. Now our job is to get them clothed with that. So technically we're going shopping all the time, but not with money. See, the mall don't have that. You can't get this from the mall. Can't get this out the catalog online. You got to go in and change your life. That's why he said, come to the waters and drink without price, without money. This is what it takes. It don't cost nothing to be righteous, right? But it costs your whole earnings to go out and be in the world. Notice that? To be in the world, it costs everything in your pocket. I need a nice house. Like, I want a nice this. Oh, I want the new this. Oh, man, I got to get that shirt. Oh, I got to get this. Oh, I got to get my hair like that. We spending money on everything. But it don't cost nothing to keep these laws, right? And that's the most valuable part of it. The Most High said he don't want no excuses. Don't say, oh, Lord, I could have been righteous, but I didn't have the money. It don't work that way. Didn't cost nothing. Our people make excuses in a minute. Don't cost nothing. So let's read that from the top, 1 and 8.
Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed in strange apparel.
Everybody see that? Everybody see the apparel? Okay, let's go back to Matthew. (13) and where we left off.
You want 44 again? I'll go to 45.
44 is good.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in the field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth. And for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field.
You see that? So one would go, sell all he had, buy them clothes to put on and be in the eyes of the Most High, right? Buy that field. Go ahead.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man.
See that? Always using that analogy about buying, because we know how to spend some money. That's a fact. Go ahead.
Seeking goodly pearls.
Go ahead.
Who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it.
You see that? So when you see something of value, you got to make that sacrifice to obtain it, is what he's saying. This truth, being called, being able to partake and sit in those seats that you was called to, or listen to this lesson online and read and desire to come in and learn about your true heritage and learn the truth for once in your life, because we've been lied to all our life, right? That's what he's saying. He said, man, you got to be prepared to put all the negativity aside and keep and get that field. Get that jewel. Because this is what's going to get us to the kingdom. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind.
Read.
Which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away.
Now, what's he saying about that? You talking about fish? What's he say? The kingdom of heaven is like. Because apostles, remember, a lot of them were fishermen. They could relate to that. You know, you going through, you catch your fish, and remember, whatever they caught, they had to take it to the market, and that's how they would sell it to the markets, and that's how they made their money, made their living, right? But when they're there, they got to go through the fish. They just can't take them in. What if the fish is missing an eye? What if his tail is half cut off? You don't think there's some maimed fish out there? They ain't going to buy that. Think about it. You're going to go buy you some fish out the market, and somebody give you that thing, and half the side is split open. It's like, well, this is an old bad one, but it's all right. It's eatable. No, I'm good with that. So what's he saying about this? What'd you say? Only the righteous get kept. Gather in the righteous, the good, but cast the bad away. Go ahead.
Verse 49. So shall it be at the end of the world.
So that's what Christ is showing us just through talking about pearls and buying land and the occupation of catching fish. He's showing us about the kingdom and all of that, right? That's why he said, he that got an ear to hear, let him hear, because some people read that, and I seen a preacher doing a sermon on that. I was like, man, this dude is retarded. Talking about, yeah, in the fish. You see, you get the fish, and that's what it is, because fish is one of the animals that you would eat, because vegetarians can eat fish. And he's just going into it's like it's really talking about fish. You don't have the ear to hear, bruh. And because of that, they should not have the mouth to speak. But Christ said it, if the blind lead the blind, both fall in the ditch. That's why you got to count it a blessing that you've been called into truth. That we tell you, hey, we just guides. You better go back after this class and read for yourself. Study for yourself. Don't we test y'all? We want to make sure y'all not puppets. Somebody got a hand on you and you just saying and repeating everything brothers say. No. And there's people like that and there's congregations like that. Nah, you got to read and learn for yourself. We point you, we show you, we do our best to educate you according to the scripture, the understanding we've been given, but you got to go back and you're accountable for it. Because if something happens and it wasn't correct, guess what? You wasn't keeping them laws right, but the brothers told me, why didn't you go and read? Because, well, I trusted them. Oh, well, I figured, brothers was in the truth for so long. Nah. None of those things is now. It don't work that way. Well, the brother spoke so strong. It don't matter. I've watched all the YouTube videos and he shuts the Edomites, they shut down and they kiss his boots and all of that. And that's what people look at. And doctrine be wrong all the way wrong. So this is what he's saying. So, such shall it be at the end of the world. Was that all of that?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the
You
just.
see, so Christ's going to bring and give you the interpretation of it. But he's keeping it simple to show you and say, listen, if you got an ear, you got to read behind the words too. Yeah, he's talking about pearls, he's talking about that, but he's also giving you an understanding about your salvation in life, of how we got to be, right? So the reason why I'm going in is to help us understand when we read Revelations. Like I said, it's a very simple book to understand. But you have to understand the analogies and how he's using them and have a foundation. And then you'll be able to read it and say, okay, I know exactly what he's saying right here. I can see what he's saying about this. Okay? Let's go flip back to Revelations 15. Y'all with us? So these angels have these vials filled with the plagues of the Most High. And that's why he's saying that he's going to send his angels through the earth to sever them. That's what these plagues are going to do. Who's really for the Most High and who's not? Remember, the Most High gives us a principle. He said, you get a friend, what are you supposed to do? Do what? Prove them. What does that mean? Prove them. You got to see if they real. A lot of people say they down, right? A lot of people say it. I got your back, man. Yeah, then some jump off. What happened? He's looking around like, damn, where'd he go? Gone, huh? Man, then how you feel about that friend then? Like, man, was a time of trouble. You just left me hanging like that? You didn't even tell me you was running. I looked around, you was gone. But you're going to reevaluate that relationship, right? That's how it is. But the Most High is the same way. He's saying, just because I called you, wait a minute, I invited you. I brought you into the situation. Now it's up to you whether you're going to be able to attend. That's it. This is the first step. Short for some, long for others. You got some, they might come in 5 minutes before Yahushua come and be found. Hey, they got 5 minutes of righteousness and be counted worthy. You got sons been in 30 years struggling and holding on and get the same kingdom. That was a parable Christ brought out about the workers in the field. Remember? Yeah, he said, hey, how much would you charge me to work in my field? He said, a penny. Penny was like average day pay at that point. So what did they do? Early in the morning, say, hey man, come work, y'all come work in my field. He said, cool. About 9:30, Kanash, come work in the field. He said, well, how much? $1. Okay, cool, come work. Sister, Bakwash, come work in the field. It's 12 o'clock p.m. now. You want to work in the field? Yeah. How much? Penny. Okay, cool. All the way in. 6 o'clock. Kabosh, man, you want to work? Yeah. All right, 6:30, bell ring. All right, everybody's done. Everybody come receive your reward. Kabosh get his penny. Bakwash get hers. Kanaj get his. Y'all can I get his? He looking at it like, how Kabosh get the same as me? I've been here since 7 this morning. Hey, bro, what did you charge me to work in my field? So there's no disagreement between us. In your patience possess ye your souls. That's what he's saying, is that everybody ain't going to come in different measures. And it's humility, because at the end of the day, none of us deserve it. That's what we got to check ourselves with. None of us deserves it. And we've done so much that we got to make sure we go through that tribulation. That's why scripture say, oh, man, how you going to look funny when you going through something like you ain't did nothing? That's how they don't understand why I'm going. And we hurt. Again, we go through it. We human. We go, we learning. We getting stronger. We trying to get stronger. But we be, man, but hitting and oh, man, it's rough, right? But when we check ourselves and say, damn, you know what? I don't even deserve this. I didn't even deserve the penny I got. We got to reevaluate it, right? Then we got to look at it and say, then we start reading about these plagues and say, man, this truth ain't that bad. Man, weeping and gnashing of teeth, I'd rather sit there and say the Our Father prayer and be good. I don't want to be in that number. Man, you read about what the Most High going to be doing, where he said people's eyes going to dissolve in their heads and their tongue and the mouth. Man, giving them plagues and sicknesses that ain't never been on the earth before. Can you imagine that? Think of a disease that it's something that the world's never seen. People be like, damn, what is wrong with you? What you got? And you in just agonizing pain, and it's not going away ever. This is what we got to look at. Continue on.
Verse 2, right?
Yeah.
Verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire.
So John is seeing this sea of glass mingled with fire. Look like a nice little pool, huh? Nah, he ain't talking about that. Talking about something else. Go ahead.
And them that had gotten the victory over the beast.
So when we put it in context, he said, I see a sea as if it were made of glass, mingled with fire. We're looking like, well, what is this? What is going on here? He said, and I saw them that had gotten the victory over the what?
Over the beast.
Over the beast. Who's the beast? Oh, here we go. Who's the beast? Yeah, it is. You know it's Esau. Man, people sitting there scratching. If you don't know who the beast is, you missing the whole situation. You're going to be walking around like them other people. Is it the Pope? Is it the Antichrist coming? No. The beast have gotten victory over the beast. Who does Esau get his power from? Satan, all day. Why is he the beast? Because it's representative of a kingdom, right? The kingdom that's going to put out the blasphemies and the images. And I watch. He said, I see a sea. We're going to get to what it means. A sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Read.
And over his image.
And he has an image. What was the image that he put up? Cesare, or some say Caesar, whatever. Caesar Borgia. Y'all know the white image, right? That's the image that he endorsed all throughout the world to be Christ and fooled the whole world by it. How many people believed in that image? Look, people say, I ain't going to say nothing. Heck yeah, I seen it. That's what I thought it was. That's Jesus. Man, you come into the truth and you realize it, like, for real? Like, man, you crying on Easter when you see Jesus Christ Superstar and all them other things. Like, how can they do them like that? Not knowing that that's your brother, literally, right? But it is. But that's what happened. That's because, you know, we didn't know no better. We wasn't taught the truth. And then we started seeking it out. We started learning. But that's the image that he put up, because he went through all the world with that image. And he went through all throughout South and Central America with that same image and got our brothers attached to that. That's why a lot of our 10 tribe brothers and sisters are attached to Catholicism. Heavily. We went to the Dominican Republic. Oh my, man, they got a bloated, man, they got him in every type of diet. See, man, it's ridiculous. They had him the regular one. They had him, he was overweight. They had another one. On every corner, like all over the place. In every little thing, you'll see the Caesars. It's like, man, heavy. And they heavy praying to it, midday, all morning to the night. That's the image. That's what he said. They have gotten victory. But these got victory over that. That means they came into the truth and they said, I know who the beast is. I'm going to stay clear of him. I'm not wearing his clothes. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not putting on his apparel. Okay? I'm not going to go according to his philosophies and his ways and his ideas. And I know the image. And that Caesar, that's the biggest one, but that's not the only one. He's got many, because what else did he incorporate? Nimrod, the cross, what else? Rosary, the rabbits and all of that. Planets and planet worship and astrology. He brought in all kind of stuff.
You know, it was so crazy. I think my wife had pointed something out to me on social media. It was some type of event. Did any of y'all saw that event recently with all the celebrities and stuff? That's what it's called. Yeah, and yeah, what's it called? Met Gala. Okay. Oh, Gala. Okay. Met Gala. So yeah, yeah. So man, it was crazy because all of them were. Somebody said it was Catholicism. They have different themes. So you have basically all of these. I was assuming the connection that I made. You know, here we got this Folly Day coming up, Mother's Day, right? That's coming up, right? Or that already passed?
It's coming up.
It's coming up. So they all had the little things on their head, looking like Semiramis, aka Easter Ishtar, you know, Ashtaroth, and then cats had the crosses on them. They had the dagon hats, the fish hats. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy because, yes, symbolically, but also on a physical level, a lot of our people are pledging themselves to these different gods and showing it physically. So just mention that.
Khan, the water. So we see that he's put out many images. His largest one and most popular and most I would say forceful, that had the strongest impact on our people, has been the Caesar image. Hold that real quick. Go to Romans chapter 1. So we see what he's talking about. The kingdom of heaven is like unto certain things. So we're reading where it said, he saw a sea mingled with a sea of glass mingled with fire, and those that have gotten the victory over the beast and his image. And let's read chapter 1, verse 23.
Romans
25, we can read that.
Romans chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
Go ahead.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
See, that's what it's talking about. And worship and serve the creature more than the creator. Our people have been, led to serve the creation of things. The creature in this aspect is dealing with is talking about Rome. Who headed up Rome? The so-called white man. Our people have been following them from day one and don't follow the Most High. Serve the creature more than who?
More than the creator.
More than the creator. That's what it's dealing with. Go ahead.
Who is blessed forever.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
But this is what it's talking about. Read verse 23.
Verse 23. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God
So the Most High is perfect and uncorruptible, right? But watch this, read.
into an image.
Into an image. They changed the uncorruptible God into an image of what?
Made like unto corruptible man.
You see that? That's what starts to happen with imagery and idolatry. You take the Most High. That's why I said, don't make nothing that resembles me. You can't make nothing that resembles me. My essence you have never even seen. If you make something, you're lying. That's how it is. That's like me trying to describe you and I never saw you. Well, what do he look like? Well, I guess he's about 6'3", such and such. You're giving a complete wrong description. You lying. Well, did you actually see him? Well, no, I never really seen him. But that's what people do. And that's the question. People say, well, what does God look like? How do you, well, we don't know, but we're going to give you the answer today. We're going to make something and say, this is what it is. And that's what they did. So our people running around thinking that it's a rock, thinking that it's the sun, thinking it's the moon, thinking it's the earth, thinking it's the sea. Our people, man, they think it's when a hurricane comes through, oh yeah, that's El Nino, that's Katrina, or that's such and such. And liken all those things and try to call that the Most High and give it images and create pictures and all this other stuff behind it. Even if you make it black, it's still wrong. Black images ain't nothing new. The black image came before the white one. Y'all know that, right? The white image didn't come to the 14th century. There was black images way before that in Russia and in Germany and all those places, the catacombs. That didn't make it right. Our people was wrong back then too. We was reading the scriptures. We was making things that we wasn't supposed to make. Everybody understand? So this is where the scriptures tell us that we can't change the uncorruptible power into a corruptible, something that's corruptible and tangible and evil. The Most High is his essence. It is what he is. Read on.
And to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things.
That's right, because they say it's a bird and all kind of things supposed to be God. But bottom line, his essence, the Most High said he is a spirit. That's bottom line. Have you seen the spirit? No. Okay, let's go back to Revelations. So he said, I saw a sea mingle with fire, as glass mingle with fire, and those that have gotten the victory over the beast. Who's the beast? And over his image. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 15, right?
15 and 2, yeah.
Verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark.
And over his mark. Is it a chip? No, it is not a computer chip. That is not his mark. What is his mark? Bottom line, iniquity. Just like one could be marked with righteousness, because that's how the Most High told us we're supposed to do what? He said, keep these laws and let them be as frontlets in thy eyes, and hold them in thy hand. Bind them in thy hand. The laws of the Most High are supposed to be held like that. But the beast comes along and says, well, get rid of the Lord's laws out of your head and your mind, and I'm going to give you something else. This will get you money. This will get you fame. This will get you worldly success. But what the Most High got for you, get rid of that. Take them clothes off. Y'all understand what's going on? Okay, read on.
And over the number of his name.
The 666, that's the number. That's his number. It's that simple. You can't go into all the interpretations of it. Most High labeled them. That's his number. His name, blasphemies. Got too many of them. His mark, which is iniquity. That's what he's trying to put and trying to brand on our people is iniquity. Because what did we read earlier about the angels? What are they going out in the earth to do? Gather all those that offend, right? Esau, no, he knows what his fate is. He's not like he's naive to that. He knows. Job says that very purposely. The wicked say, let us drink now and be merry, for tomorrow we die. They They know it's coming, so said, let's get it all in, let's turn up now, and we're going to take as many of them ignorant Israelites with us as we can. And we're going to turn them all from the Most High so they can partake in the same judgment as us. That's his mentality. He showed us that when he first got that morsel of meat, right? Give me some of that pottage, Jacob. I'm hungry. It ain't even cooked. I don't care. I want it. Well, give me your birthright. You can have that. Serve the Most High. Be one with the Most High. Be his son. You can have that mess. Give me that meat. So you can see where his place with the Most High was. He didn't have one. He didn't care anything about the Most High, even now. What has he done to show that he has any righteousness in him? What movement has he even started or have led or even given to lead you to righteousness? Nothing, right? Well, that's because he's tainted with what? With evil. He's the devil. Our people still struggling with that. Edom might help me get my car started. Can't be that bad. I was on trial, man. The Edomite DA helped me. But that's how some people think. He helped me. Gave me that job, man. Now I can take care of my family. He can't be that bad. Man, you got to understand. You got to have peace in your kingdom to run it successfully. You know, he already got hip to the rebellions. He said, man, if I keep pissing them off, they're going to get mad and rebel. He read the Bible because he read on how did the Israelites treat their servants? Oh, wait a minute. They treated them righteously. Oh, wait. What? Don't beat your servant? Well, we better stop that. Wow. What? Give him. If you do him right, he would want to serve you forever. Wait a minute. We got to change the whole game. Now, guess what? We want to serve him forever. Happy when you leave up from that interview, right? Dancing. Yeah. On the phone. I got it. I got it. That's the truth. I got it. Guess what, baby? Who we going out for dinner? That's it. Happy. Happy to get to work. Happy to go in. That's it. But that's what he got wise, and he said, man, we keep afflicting them. They're going to turn, get angry, push them into a corner. You do that for so long, anybody's going to retaliate. Man, they cut up, man. We should have learned from the rebellions when they was cutting our throats in our sleep and all that other stuff. We better treat them right. And be wise, exactly. All of that. In the West Indies, man, they was letting Esau have it. They was not playing. The Indians too, they was not playing. Don't get twisted when you're watching Geronimo and all that other stuff they try to water down. Those was big rebellions. They was not playing. Israel was not playing when the so-called white man came over here. He had to change tactic after tactic, and eventually, because we went into sin, the Most High weakened us. That was the only reason why he was able to conquer us. The only reason we were weakened. But he got hip. He said, you know what, treat them good. Give them a raise. Give them merit. Give them some benefits. It's all going to come back to us anyway. We got to play the game. That's all he did. We happy. I got some benefits. I can retire. Medical, I got that. Is it free? Heck no, you paying for it like 3 times. They deducted it out your check. You pay for it when you buy food and anything that they tax you on, and then they tax you from your check anyway. There ain't nothing free. He said, man, they too dumb. They don't even see what's going on. But then we realize it ain't too much we can do about it because we done messed up with the Most High. So we got to sit there and take it. And that's the worst part because now we know the truth and we still got to go through it. That's the Most High saying, see? I told you it was easier to follow my laws. But we, hard-headed Israel, right? Let's go back. Where was we at?
Still on 2.
Yeah, okay, let's finish that.
Revelation chapter 15.
Yeah, please.
Verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name. Stand on the sea of glass.
They're standing on the sea of glass. Go ahead.
Having the harps of God.
So they're standing on this glass, having harps. What's a harp used for? It's music. That was the guitar of the day. Don't think that we hear like, nah, you can get down on a harp. King David got down on a harp. Beats behind it the whole night. They was singing and rap. They was doing the whole thing.
Beatboxing while he was
But they got victory, so they're doing a celebration dance. But what is the sea of glass talking about? Let's go to the book of Luke. Let's get, yes.
He was Biz Markie while he was playing.
What you say?
Doing Biz Markie while he was
The whole thing. Biz Markie. Luke, I don't even know if they know. Some of them don't know who Biz Markie is.
not the younger ones.
Who? Get Luke chapter 16.
Chapter 16.
Yeah. And I want, let's read verse 20. Here's another parable Christ brought down. Now we're dealing with the glass, the sea of glass mingled with fire. That's what it's talking about.
You want to start at verse 19?
Yeah, you can start there. Luke 16, verse 19.
Luke chapter 16 and verse 19. There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
So this man had everything he wanted. Fared sumptuously. Good looking, handsome, had money, had everything he needed, benefits, job, wealth, the whole nine. Go ahead.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus.
And then there was another man that wasn't very well off. He didn't have much. He had to ask. You know, he had to get and borrow and ask for to eat and things like that. Go ahead.
Which was laid at his gate, full of sores.
And not only that, he was, not very comely to look upon. Had sores all over him and, blemishes and, wasn't as the rich man. Okay, go ahead.
And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
He said, all I want is just some crumbs, man. He said, I don't even want you don't have to give me a sandwich. Just give me a little piece of that comes off the bread. I'll be happy with that. Go ahead.
Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
So dogs, when you go on what a dog is in Israel, dogs were used to keep flocks, to guard your home. That's why when you read in Isaiah, the Most High calls those pastors dumb dogs that cannot bark because they're not doing nothing. A dog is supposed to be there to warn you and protect you from danger, right? Okay. So, but these dogs that will be ferocious will come and soothe them by licking his sores. Okay, so what is this telling you? Let's look behind the words now. What is the rich man talking about, Kanash? The rich man. He had everything. Had a purple robe on, jewels, and all of that.
You said, what is he talking about?
What does the rich man represent?
I mean, he's living in his kingdom in his glory.
Okay, but a little more. Go behind the words. Who? The rich man had everything. What does that symbolize? What kind of person is that today?
Your pastors, Esau, anybody who's living that lifestyle and not feeding the flock.
Okay. Who else want to add to that? Go ahead, Monica. Monica on fire today, huh? Absolutely. Everybody good? All right.
The rich man is one who's righteous from Scripture.
The rich man is righteous?
This one in here. It says he's
No.
with purple, in his purple.
Not in this story. Maybe we should finish it, huh? But I'm just asking. Who else got? Go ahead. So you got a rich man that had everything. You had a poor man that was suffering.
The rich man symbolizes the person, the self-centered, lovers of themselves, that type of person that didn't care about nobody else but himself.
Okay.
As it says in the scripture, I don't know if it went through already, but I read the story already, and it says that he wouldn't even give him the crumbs off his table, but he wanted to eat the crumbs off his table, but he wouldn't. He gave it to his dog, and that's why. But the rich man is a self-centered individual who only cares for himself.
Okay, good. So that's why I said maybe we should read down, and we can get some understanding. Okay, so you see, everybody see the rich man, right? Everybody see the poor man. What was his name? Lazarus. Okay, go ahead. Verse 21.
22.
22.
And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom.
So now we getting somewhere. He was torn. He was afflicted, right? He didn't have much. He said, all I want is some crumbs. He waited just to get some crumbs. Dogs came by, licking him, and he didn't, like you said, he had sores, so his health wasn't in the best. But when he died, he was taken to where Abraham was. Where do you think Abraham is at? With the Most High or waiting some type of awful judgment? Oh, he with the Most High for sure. For sure. So if he went to where Abraham was, that meant that beggar, being as poor as he was and afflicted as he was, what kind of life and what kind of man was he? He was righteous. So although he was going through what he was dealing with, he made that sacrifice. He said, you know what? I'll be poor and be righteous than to be wealthy and be evil. And while he lived, of course, he was going through it. People was talking about him and didn't want to sit next to him on the bus and like, oh, what the hell wrong with him? Taking pictures of him and posting on the social media. You know how people do. The same thing, that same spirit's here today. Yo, Job. Exactly. And even people that's right now. That would be us.
Israel.
We might have that rich man mingled with us too. You understand? Oh yeah, absolutely. We can have a little bit of both. Some more than the other, more Lazarus than the rich man, or more rich man than Lazarus. Everybody see that? So this is what Christ is showing us about these things. He's like, look, these are scenarios that happen. I know you've seen somebody that you didn't want to sit next to, and you judged them, didn't you, or her? Absolutely you did. Probably had speaking and foam coming all out, and it was like, oh, no. And you judged that person. This is reality. You judged that person. Didn't want to shake their hand. I'll tell you a story. We used to go to Skid Row. Man, it was because you had to. I'm just being real. We had to condition. Well, I'm speaking for myself personally, and we used to go down there and feed them. And man, you could see how people would be. But man, it was like, man, you didn't want to, but then I had to check myself. I said, damn, that's disrespectful. We come to go and feed our people, and then they come, thank you, brother. And you come like, oh, man, I don't, brother been scratching it. And then I was like, but that's the reality of it. Sometimes, we sanitize every little thing. We don't even touch the handle. But they come in to thank you, and it's like, and that's when the moments be like, what would Yahweh Shai do? Would he have said, yeah, all right, my brother.
It's more hygienic.
I get it, but at the same time, it was like, man, that was just something that I felt. And I had to say, damn, you know what? Man, then I had to go in this way. I said, man, if Yahweh Shai would wash his apostles' feet, how many of y'all gonna wash somebody's feet? He said, I wash some people's feet, not everybody's feet. But that was a humbling experience. We did it too, amongst brothers. But Yahweh Shai did that, and he did that with his disciples. And as a thing, man, because you got to remember, brothers in that was wearing sandals, the whole nine. The feet was like, man. But to wash that was like a humbling and was like a real brotherly experience. So then I had to say, you know what? Nah, man, here's what it is. You my brother. We come down here to help you. We'll be hypocritical to not embrace you that way. So that's something that I had to do. I was looking at it like, man. But those Lazarus exist. You understand? So, you know, did Yahweh die for Lazarus? He died for the rich man too. But the rich man didn't want to follow the same way though. So this is what's going on. So when the beggar died, he was taken to Abraham's bosom. Go ahead.
The rich man also died and was buried. 23.
Uh-huh.
And in hell he lift up his eyes.
So now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Lazarus died, went to Abraham's bosom. He's chilling with Abraham. Abraham like, man, you hang with me. Let me show you Isaac. Let me get Jacob, get over here and meet Lazarus. That's how they rolling, right? The rich man, he died. He said he's in hell. Do y'all see what's going on? Watch this, read.
Being in torments.
Now, he's not going, he ain't got no peace going on. He's in torment. Torments. Thank you. Torments. Man, read on.
And seeth Abraham afar off.
Now, how could he see him? Now you're going to see where that glass mingle with fire coming in. It's coming together. Don't worry about it. It's coming together. Watch. Go ahead.
And Lazarus in his bosom.
So he's up there, man. He sees Lazarus like, man, he with Abraham. I'm in this hell. Oh, man. You know he's feeling bad now. But go ahead.
And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me.
Look at that. Go ahead.
And send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water.
Look, he said, send Lazarus so he can just do this. Take the tip of his finger in water and put it on him. So he said, I could just, that little bit might quench me. Show you how it is. Let's show you how Abraham is rolling too. Go ahead. But watch this.
And cool my tongue.
Look at that. Cool my tongue. Read.
For I am tormented in this flame.
He said, I am tormented in this flame. But he wasn't dying. So what was happening to him? His spirit. That's that eternal fire. Eternal pain, eternal destruction. Where the Most High got your spirit and you're going through pain and you cannot die. He died physically. Y'all saw that, right? Both of them died physically. But one was resurrected to eternal life, the other one to everlasting shame and contempt. Now watch what Abraham says to him, watch.
But Abraham said, Son.
Then you know he was an Israelite. Okay, go ahead.
Remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented.
Well, you reap what you sow, right? You see that? So now we understand what was dealing with both of them was about. Lazarus, although he was going through his situation, he was righteous. The rich man, selfish, he didn't care nothing about the laws of Moses. He had it. What else did he need? He didn't understand about the affliction. I don't know, afflicted, man, I'm good. Bondage, I'm straight. Does that spirit exist among Israel today? Absolutely. We think we got everything sometimes. Man, I'm good. I got my family. I got this. I got a job. I got money coming in. I'm good. No, you not. You're not good till you up there with Father Abraham. Man. Then you can say you good. Because the rich man thought he was straight. Lazarus was, man, I'm suffering. But when that spiritual judgment came forth, Lazarus was found worthy. The rich man had to go to that torment. So he said, you receive good things, Lazarus received evil things. And now he's comforted and you're tormented. Now check this out. Now we get into the sea of glass mingled with fire. Read.
And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf.
What is a gulf? It's a body of water, right? So he said, between us, there's a gulf. That's that water, that sea, right? That's why I say that's crystal, because why he was able to see what was going on. those that was with Abraham was able to see the torment of those that was on the other side of that. And those that's on the bottom being tormented was able to see the comfort and the blessings of those that was righteous. That's like a hell of a slap in the face, right? You didn't just go somewhere else. No, you're going to watch them celebrate. And y'all, since y'all did well, you're going to watch them suffer. Because that could have been you. And they looking like, that could have been me. I could be with Abraham, right? Oh, my God, what did I do? That's how it is. Go ahead.
So that they which would pass from hence to you cannot.
So we can't come to you. Go ahead.
Neither can they pass to us that would come from thence.
And you can't come to us. That means the choice has been made. The judgment has been set. He asked them, can you have mercy? Oh, too late for that. There's no mercy now. You had mercy when Yahushua died. And you lived your life. And you lived it the way you wanted to live it. There was your mercy. There was your grace right there. But we think at the last minute, oh, well, Abraham, come on, put a word in. Ain't going to happen. It's not going to work. Go ahead.
Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father.
So now, did y'all see the gulf? And in that gulf, what? He was in that flame. That's where he said there was a sea of crystal, like crystal, mingled with fire. And then he said, I saw those that had gotten victory over the beast and over his name and his image and over his mark and over the number and all of that, right? Isn't the rich man seeing Lazarus getting that victory over the beast? You understand? That's what we were showing, what John is seeing, the same vision that Christ is explaining right here. Go ahead.
That thou wouldest send him to my father's house.
So now, the rich man's trying to plead with Abraham. Now he says, okay, Abraham, I know you can't come to me. I can't come to you, but do this. I got family back at the house. They still alive. I need to get word to them. Because this place, they don't want to go there. I don't want none of my people coming to this place. Go ahead, check it out.
For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment.
Look at that. Now he want to care about people, right? You see that now? If the heat is on, literally, he want to take care of people. He want to, now, let me look out for them. He said, well, can you send Lazarus back and let him warn them for me? What did Abraham say? Let's read.
Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them.
That's it. They got the Bible, in other words. They got the Bible. Let them read. But you know, my little brother don't like to read. Then he'll join you. Abraham said, his mercy is over, right? Send them, please. He's still trying. Watch out. So he said, they got Moses and the prophets, which we know is the Bible. Let them hear them. No, come on, Mo. That ain't going to work, Abraham. You know that. Israel don't like to read. Which sometimes is true, unfortunately. But read on.
And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent.
Look at that. So what's the key here? Repentance, right? He said, well, if they seen Lazarus, who they knew was alive, come back from the dead, they'll believe and they'll repent. Check it out. Read.
And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
That's it. They can't believe the Bible. They ain't going to believe nothing. No point. So enjoy the flame. That's what Abraham's saying. Everybody see that? So what must we do to be with Abraham? We got to be righteous. That charity, forgiveness, humility, all of that, because while he was alive, and all of that has to be done now. Can y'all understand? Don't think you're going to wait till afterward. People go, I'm going to get right in my next life. That's the next life. I'm going to enjoy it and live it up now. Because people, do they not have doctrines based upon reincarnation and all of that? That people believe in? Yeah, oh, don't worry about that. That's what even Egypt, they have all that, the negative confessions and you'll come back. That's why these pharaohs bury their treasures and all. I'll be back. Not understanding. Ain't none of them did nothing. They stuck. In whatever realm of dimension that they think they in, they stuck there with over there with the rich man. But we got an opportunity right now. When you die, that's it. Y'all understand? That's why Paul broke it down real plain. He said, hey, I would love to die, but to live in the flesh is needful for us. Because we got a lot of changing to do, right? A lot. Let's go back to Revelations 15. So he said, let them hear Moses and the prophets. He said, no, Abraham, nah, they ain't going to believe it. But if he go from the dead, they'll hear it not. They can't believe the scriptures. They ain't going to believe if one came from the dead. Who came from the dead they still don't believe? Yahweh Shai. And you still got Israelites running around. Well, I'm non-Messianic. That's why Abraham said what he said. He said, man, if they don't read the Bible and they don't get it from that, we ain't worried about them. Forget them. Because the Most High already shut it down. He said, I'm going to make sure that none of y'all cheat. I'm putting a big gulf and flame, and you can't pass. No one can go from one place to the other. That's it. You made your choice while you was alive. And you made your choice, you got to live with it. All right, back to Revelations. Y'all good? All right, go ahead. Where we left off.
Verse 3. Revelation chapter 15 and verse 3.
And you can read Matthew, write down Matthew 19 and 29.
Revelation chapter 15 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
And they sing the song of Moses.
So now, while they having this celebratory music playing and harps, and remember, because it said these are those that had got victory over the beast. So like Lazarus, he got victory over the beast because he didn't allow iniquity to overcome him to where he ended up where the rich man did. He was placed in that place of that blessing, the kingdom, with the Most High, with all the holy and righteous men and women of the Lord. That's where we want to be, right? They got victory. You know, when people make that touchdown, they dancing and all that. That's how they was doing. Partying. Dances you ain't seen. Bringing all the old Israelite dances back in the time of David and Adam and all of that. They had all kind of dances. Music we ain't even seen yet, heard yet. But this is what they were doing, because you got to imagine, if you could sing in captivity, how you going, and you could sing good in captivity, how you going to sound when you in the kingdom? And you ain't got no stress. Woo! Talk about lyrics. You're going to hit notes you didn't even think you could hit. Most I'm going to see, yeah, see, that's the 6-dimensional note. Only the spiritual can hear it. But let's read on. So verse 3. And they sung the song of what?
And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God.
They sung a song. They had a song. Yep. Number 1 on the charts. Go to Exodus. Exodus 15 and 1. There was a song. Hey, best believe it's number 1 on the charts, for real. It should be. But now they got all that mumble mess. All my friends are dead, huh? They ain't gonna be singing that for real. That's for real. They gonna be singing them songs. All my friends are dead. Looking around, ain't nothing dropping like flies. When you read, you can read. We're not going into the plagues, but that's in the next chapter, chapter 16. Read that, and you're gonna see what people are gonna be singing. But let's see here. They said these that got victory over the beast sung the song of Moses. What is the song of Moses? 15 and 1, Exodus.
Exodus chapter 15 and verse 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
Look at that. He said the horse and his rider. They were singing this coming out of Egypt. See, this was a real story. It was like the horse and his rider had he thrown into the sea. That's Pharaoh and the army that pursued him. They singing a victory song, right? So when they now, so that I told you they're gonna go back to all the songs that was in the time of Moses and the dances that they was doing coming out of Egypt. They're gonna have all that going on. Yeah, we came out, man. Pharaoh got swallowed up, man. The horse fell over, man. All them Egyptians, the firstborn slain. They had lyrics. Celebrating. Go ahead.
Verse 2, the Lord is my strength and song,
See that? The Lord is my strength. This is what they singing. Go ahead.
and he has become my salvation.
Read.
He is my God, and I will prepare him an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war.
See, we bring that out, but didn't know that it was a song, huh? People didn't know it was a song. The Lord is a what?
A man of war.
See that? That's heavy right there. That's the Father. He said, hey, you going to describe, did it say a woman?
A man of war.
A man of war at that. Well, I don't want no guy like that. That's all right. We do. We do. That's it. Because the Most High said he ain't playing. A man of war, that means he's there to defend. He's there to go against anything that comes to threaten or destroy what's his. Religion taught us to be pacified and all of that and to get hit upside the head and keep marching down. That's not what the Most High told us to do. So he said the Most High is a man of war. Read.
Yahweh is his name.
Read on.
Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts hath he cast into the sea.
You see that? And this is the whole song, the whole chapter. You can read that on your own. But that was the song that they were singing when they got victory over the beast. That's the song that they're going to sing real soon. Let's go back to Revelation 15. Everybody see that? And that was a heck of a victory song. You know, talking about what happened to the Egyptians, the Most High, the Lord of hosts. He's our song. Most High is a man of war. Lord of hosts is his name.
Some auto-tune on it.
Man, I wonder how that harmony was. But go ahead.
Revelation chapter 15 and verse 3. And they sang, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying.
And the song of the Lamb. Now he got a song too. Go to Revelations 5. We had a lot of songs. This is the song that they were singing, the song of the Lamb. Revelations 5 and 9.
Revelation chapter 5 and verse 9.
Because the first song was about us coming out of ancient Egypt, right? Out of the house of bondage. This song is dealing with the song of the Lamb. Who's the Lamb? Who's the Lamb? This song is dealing with him. Read verse 5, chapter 5, verse 9.
And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
Because when you read earlier, it let us know that no one could open the seals of that book except for who? Yahweh Shai. He was the only one. When you read in earlier in part 5, chapter 5, read.
For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
This is a song. You understand? Thou wert dead and redeemed us from out of every nation. Read on.
And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
And through his blood we became kings and priests. This is a song. Read.
And we shall reign on the earth.
Look at that. Talking about reigning, talking about being kings and priests. Read on.
And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast and the elders. And the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands.
Y'all see that? 10,000 times 10,000s and thousands of thousands.
It's 100 million
Man.
plus.
And what was they doing? Read.
Saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power.
See, this is the song of the Lamb that they were celebrating. Because without Yahweh Shai dying for us, could we have even made it? No. See, that's why they sang both songs. They said, hey, if it wasn't for Moses being who he was, we wouldn't have got the law. And if it wasn't for Yahweh Shai being who he was and doing what he did, we wouldn't have been able to have this chance of salvation. Makes sense, right? So this is what, but he said, who's going to be singing this? those that got victory over the beast. You got to have a victory. See, we can't do nothing until we get the victory. Or we be singing for nothing and getting put to death. Because the rich man in them, you know they ain't singing nothing. He said, all I would, if he could just take that and just tip my tongue and just give me that. Abraham said, nah, bro. That's it. Let's go back to Revelation 15. So you can continue reading and hear the rest of the song. Put some music on, put a beat on, say it to the beat. There you go, you got the song. Verse 3.
Revelation chapter 15, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God,
Uh-huh.
and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints.
Because when you look at both songs, that's what it's talking about, glorifying the Most High. Read on.
Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou art holy, for thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest.
Y'all see that? The Most High is showing us that. He said all nations is going to come and worship before him. Okay, get Luke 19:27. Give me Isaiah 60 and 12.
21 first.
It don't matter. You could also get Psalms 89 and 2.
Shoot, we have to get relevant to Biggie. Luke 19.
Yeah, it's only like 2 more verses. I told you it was a short chapter. But having that foundation helps you understand it, right? Go ahead.
Luke 19 and what?
27.
Luke chapter 19 and verse 27.
Remember, he said, all the nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. Go ahead.
But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them.
Because the Most High is given the throne and rulership unto who? Yahweh Shai. You know, the Most High got his own throne. You know, he sits on the big throne. Then there's another throne for the king, the Lamb, Yahweh Shai. Then there's other thrones. Got to remember, the saints, that's right, the elect. We know for a fact it's the 12 apostles because he said, hey, you do what I'm telling you to do, you will sit on 12 thrones judging the tribes of Israel. That was a promise he gave them with his own mouth. It's like, you stay strong in this. You got a seat on the throne. That's heavy, ain't it? So you got a seat. Not only will you be the king, you got a seat and a throne waiting for you. And knowing that, what did Judas go do? Sometimes that's the situation. Sometimes it ain't worth it to some people. They figure, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm gonna do something different. And get caught up. And Judas knew he was done. That's why he hung himself. He said, ain't no coming back from that. Christ told him, he said, hey, I already know what you're going to do, and I'm giving you a chance, I'm giving you a way out right now. If you dip your plate, you dip the meat, the bread in the pot after me, that's who's going to betray me. Because they was all, who is it, who is it? He dipped it in, and Judas go. Everybody saw it. I mean, for real, that you should have been like, damn, it's me. But his mind had went so far away from the Most High that he saw it and couldn't even change himself. That's called reprobate right there. You hear that word in the scriptures? That's reprobate. Judas knew it. And Christ told him, man, I gave you out. But then he hit him again. He said, look, it's better for he that betrayeth the Son of Man, it's better that a millstone be hung on his neck and he thrown into the sea. Judas. He still didn't get it. Then he told him, if you dip it after me, then you're the one. And he dipped it. He still didn't get it. So at that point, Christ said, whatever you do, go do it quickly. Go do it. And Judas left. Oh, I got to go do something. I'll be back. That's it. But guess what? There's many Judases in Israel. That's why Christ said, I ain't saying nothing until we up there with Abraham in his bosom. Christ said, he that endure to when? The end. Because it's going to take, because you got to remember, the plagues ain't even came yet. That's why I say you're going to have to read that 16. I'll give a lesson on it sometime in the future. But that's where it's going to really kick in. That's when people are going to really hate the Most High. That's the facts. That's truth. Imagine you got love for your family that's not in this truth, and the Most High is burning them up in front of you, and you know the Most High is doing that. Some people are going to start blaspheming the Most High for that because of their emotional attachment. Think about it. People blame the Most High for things now. But when it's going down like that, and the Most High is just hitting people left and right and wrecking your world upside down, guess what? People, like Yahweh Shai said, many going to be offended at me tonight. Because he said at the end of the day, this kingdom's not free. We want it, right? But we really don't we really don't quite understand what it takes for us to get it. We know a little bit, we know some, and we getting there, but guess what? When you really learn more, damn, we got some work to do. Because the people that the Most High call righteous, their lives was damn near perfect. You imagine that? That's why that blood of Christ is so important to us. It's so crucial. But this is what he's letting us know. Continue on.
Bring them hither and slay them before me.
So whoever don't want Christ to rule and don't want that righteousness, he said they got to go. Isaiah 16:12. And then Psalms 69 and 2. Psalms 89 and 2, I'm sorry. 89 and I think I want 23.
Isaiah first.
Yeah, Isaiah 16:12 and Psalms 89 and 23.
23.
Yes, sir. 89 and 23.
Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Y'all see that? Do they have a choice? No, they got to serve. And the ones that's going to serve, guess what? They're the ones that got to be right. Every heathen don't get to serve. Ain't that something? Every heathen don't get to be a slave. They have to be right to be a slave. Ain't that something? They have to be right. They're going to have to do everything the Most High say just so that they can have servitude in the kingdom and serve the Israelites. That's their salvation. That's their gift. You think they're going to take it over that lake? They're going to be begging for it. And some of them in their pride, they're going to rather die, but they're going to realize that death is not going to mean nothing. Well, look what happened to the rich man, right? Death didn't mean nothing to the Most High, right? Should I just kill myself? It's not going to happen. You'll be physically injured and still alive. Trying to jump off mountains and all that, they'd be all messed up and still alive. Ain't nothing you can do. All messed up. Just can't move, just laid up. That's your fault. You ain't going nowhere. Go ahead, song. Was that all of that one?
No.
Go ahead.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Now, Psalms 89 and 20.
23.
Yep. Psalms 89, 23.
Psalms chapter 89 and verse 23. And I will beat down his foes before his face.
You hear that word, beat down? They're going to catch a beat. The heathen getting a beat down. Beat down his foes before his face. Go ahead.
And plague them that hate him.
See that? And plague them that hate the Most High. That's what we talk about, these plagues back in Revelations. So let's shoot back to Revelations 15. So this is what this is dealing with. Those that got the victory over the madness that's in the world. They didn't get influenced by the beast. They didn't get thrown off by philosophy and doctrine. They stayed true and stayed clothed with the word of the Most High. Pick up at verse 6. Verse 5, I think.
Verse 5. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was open. And the 7 angels came out of the temple having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles.
They had those girdles on. You know that white represents what? And that righteousness of saints. Okay, read on.
And one of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7
The
angels.
4 beasts are those when you read in Revelation 7:1. It's talking about the 4 angels that are standing and waiting on the 4 corners of the earth. They're the ones holding back all the wrath. All right, there's levels to this. You got the 4 main angels that's there, that's protecting the north, south, east, and the west, and then you got these 7 angels that's holding these different vials that each one is going to open up and release a certain plague into the earth. Okay, that's all in chapter 16. But continue on.
Gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of God.
So now we see that in other words, what's happening is the Most High is sealing up his servants right now. That's what we're reading about. We see that on one side, we can do the right thing and receive that goodness. Then on the other hand, we can do the wrong thing and get of that destruction. Now, in the midst of that, these plagues are going to come, but we're going to have to maintain strength. We're going to have to be strong, like it was in Egypt, right? Didn't we go through them same plagues in Egypt? We're going to have to go through that now. Why these plagues are going on, guess what? Brothers are still going to be teaching in the streets. Guess what? Sisters are still going to have to be strong, guarding the house, watching your children. We're going to have to function like normal in the midst of chaos. Then the Most High is going to put them to death. For several reasons. It could be a judgment. It could be because the Most High said, I love that brother or that sister. I don't want them to see that. I want them up here with me. To spare that person for the wrath to come. You know, death is taken in many ways. The Most High is judge on that. Everyone seeing that? Then the Most High is going to give, we read where spiritual power is given. That they have the ability to manipulate and control the elements and not get harmed. So when brothers is out teaching and they looking to destroy us, guess what? It ain't going to work. Our mind is focused on getting the rest of Israel. They're going to be trying to destroy us. Ain't none of that working. That's how the Most High's power is going to be released in the earth. Read on.
Who liveth forever and ever.
Read.
Verse 8. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God.
So write these scriptures down. Exodus chapter 40, verse 34. Speaks about the cloud and how the Most High, when he manifests himself in the tabernacle, it was in the form of a cloud. Now, that's not the Most High. That don't mean, that's why some people want to go and get high and I'm going to get in tune with the Most High. That's not what it's talking about. But that was how he embodied, showing us how the Spirit operates. Okay? And a cloud is something that's there. However, it's not tangible. You see anybody just get some smoke and just can walk around? It doesn't work like that. So that's showing you how the Spirit of the Most High works. So the closest thing to help Israel understand how the Spirit is was what? A vapor. It's there, but you can't touch, you can't hold it, you can't grasp how the Most High is. That's how Spirit works. Everyone understanding? Okay. So Exodus 40 and verse 34, also 2 Chronicles chapter 5, verse 13 through 14 shows us that. Those are real good scriptures on that too.
Sam, one more time.
Exodus 40, chapter 40, verse 34, and 2 Chronicles chapter 5, verse 13 through 14. So he said, the smoke of the glory of the Most High. Go ahead.
And from his power.
Uh-huh.
And no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled.
You see that? So right now, our brothers that's past, they're waiting. They ain't received the kingdom yet either. They're just waiting. Remember it said in Revelations chapter 6, he said he saw the souls of them that were killed for the word of God. The Most High said, wait here until the others and the number be sealed, should be fulfilled. So this is what, the Most High was showing us with this chapter is that, the kingdom is there. There's other things we got to go through, but the thing that we got to focus on is getting that victory. Everyone see that? We got to get that victory. We've been given a prime choice and an opportunity. What's his face say? Slavery's a choice? Salvation is a choice. When you look at it, this truth is a choice. Christ said, hey, you didn't choose me, I chose you. Now that we got it, he said, hey, I'm giving you a gift. Now it's up to you. What are you going to do with it? You're going to play with it, you're going to throw it behind your back, or you're going to take it and run with it and get to the end. And in doing that, we're going to have to climb leaps and bounds and really put work in to get there. We're going to have to better ourselves, better those around us, our outwardly, our inwardly, our mind, our spirit. Everything got to get a complete rejuvenation and change. Can y'all see that? On all levels, because the world messed us up. We're in bad shape. We covering, but we still, we still a little alcoholic in us. That we still got that substance of iniquity we got to purge out. That's why we keep going through these our holy days and all of that. But that's the chapter. Everybody understand chapter 15? And take it upon yourself. Watch, when you read 16, knowing this, it's going to be easy. Just read it. You're going to see it. You probably ain't going to sleep, but you're going to, if you're really looking at it, and you can read it just through, and you'll see it, it's going to make complete sense to you. So, you brothers that's, teaching and all that, of course, you're going to put your precepts, but it wouldn't be very difficult for you to understand. But we'll go over that in the future, and you get a better understanding, all right?